On September 11th, 2001, I was in Manhattan walking into my office, and the first plane to hit the Twin Towers flew right over my head. We then went straight into our building, into the elevator, so we didn't know what happened. Then we came out on our floor and it was chaos. People were running around and panicking and yelling and trying to turn on TVs, calling their friends and calling their family and calling their spouse and calling their kids. And I realized I had no one to call. I'm Sandra Crawford Williamson, and I am a professor here in the DBU College of Business, and I was in Manhattan on September 11th. As that day continued, we all know the story. We went down to the street level, and we had multiple people coming toward us that had been in the Twin Towers or near the Twin Towers. We were probably 25, 30 blocks away. So we were helping people and letting them use our cell phones to make calls. And again, I thought, wow, who am I gonna call? So I called my mom, and I was on the phone with her, and when we were speaking is when the second plane hit the second tower. And that's when things got really chaotic, because we realized in that moment that was not a coincidence. We were under attack. Within the hour, there were F-15s flying overhead, and not too long after that, there were tanks rolling in from the National Guard base. And all the cars disappeared. It was really eerie. There were no cars, no taxis on the street of Manhattan, and it was silent except for sirens. And when you're in the middle of all those tall buildings, you can't really see the top of the World Trade Center, but we knew that things were bad because the closer we got, the more injured people were and the more scared people were. And then there was this moment when there was a rumbling under my feet, and we saw sheer terror from people that were running toward us. And so in that moment, the incomprehensible occurs to you. Could one of those 110-story buildings actually fall? I'd been in the World Trade Center many times. I couldn't even imagine that. And so we turned north with the crowd, and we all started running. And I thought, this is it. This is probably my end on earth. And I had this flash of just emptiness and loneliness, where everything I had chased up to that point had been about worldly possessions, worldly success, the next job, the next title on the business card, the next corner office. And there was this moment where we're running and we're all in our worldly selves. We all have on our business suits or our street vendor apron or our retailer uniform with our name tag. Then the gray concrete cloud caught up with us. And in an instant, all of those worldly images that we had worn were covered in gray dust from head to toe. And I had this voice in my head that I knew instantly was God. And he said to me, "This is what it'll be like in eternity. A moment ago, you were all worried about what you were wearing and what you were doing and what your job was. And now you all look the same. You're not bringing any of those earthly layers with you." And I thought, wow, everything I've been chasing for 34 years was literally blowing in the wind down the street. Cash, papers, computer parts. And so I filed that away. Spent the rest of the day trying to give blood and take care of my team and get people safe. And the entire time, this quote, "This is what it'll be like in eternity," is just going over and over in my head. God used that awful day to show me how empty my life was and that I was chasing the wrong things and putting value in the wrong things. So fast forward, I now know God wastes nothing. Even the awful terror of that day, he used for me to show me his place in my life. Within a year, was dating my now husband. He's blessed us abundantly. We have 3 amazing kids. And in 2018, I had the opportunity to come here to DBU as an adjunct professor and now am full-time. And every single day I get to carry out my mission. I get to use my gifts. I get to share the gospel and share business and explain very clearly to every student that wants to know how God has transformed my life, because they can have that same transformation. My prayer is no one ever has to experience anything like 9/11 again. But I do want people to experience the transformation that God did in my life through 9/11. That day still haunts me. I think about the 3,000 people that perished, and I want to honor them. I want to honor their memory by being the best patriot I can be, the best American patriot, the best DBU patriot, and constantly honoring this country and their sacrifice. But my prayer and my hope is that everyone does experience the transformation that God can do in their life by helping them understand what their gifts are, and that they can love God and love others, and that is more than enough. That is everything.